I can find the button. Okay, I did. It's been a while since I've done a Zoom also, D, at least like this. So forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty. But before we dive into tonight's topic of New Year and new ways to support and some exciting things that we're going to share with everybody, I just thought it'd be good to go around and just introduce ourselves, say hi. I think most of us have met each other, but just in case we haven't, and it's always nice to say hi to everybody and actually see you all. And so we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll start with the Head for the Cure team. I did myself. My dog is in here as well, but I'm not going to introduce her. So Laura, if you want to go ahead.
Everyone, Happy New Year. I think I've gotten to meet pretty much everyone on this call, but I'm the Programs and Development Coordinator for Head for the Cure. So working on the different fundraising campaigns that we have outside of the 5Ks. I let the other lovely ladies on this call take care of the 5K side of things. And then also working on our programs, primarily Brains for the Cure is our largest program, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on. So I'll save that for later.
Thanks, Laura. Perfect. Going across my screen. Sorry, you're next, Courtney.
Darn, now I'm fine. Okay. Great to see everyone. Happy New Year, first of all. So like Kelsey said, I'm Courtney. I'm a regional relationship coordinator. So that means I get to plan all our great events in Texas and Phoenix. So great to see some familiar faces here tonight. But yeah, so I get to coordinate all those events. We have a couple coming up in Midland and Austin and Dallas. So just a few. So go Anna. So yeah, I get to plan those in the next few months, and then we are off to San Antonio, Houston, and Phoenix in the fall.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. We've got Allie.
Hello, everyone. I am also a regional relationship coordinator. My events are Orlando and Charleston, which are coming up here in February, on February 20th and the 27th. So that's exciting, the first couple events of the year. I also have in the summer and fall, we have Seattle and Mid-Missouri, NC Triangle, and Cleveland. So yeah, I help put on those events and plan them and get to work with all of you. I love it.
Thank you, Allie. And we've got Maddie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie. I'm another regional relationship coordinator. I have the markets of Columbus, Wichita, St. Louis, Des Moines, Omaha, Chicago, and Detroit. So I'll kind of spread out starting in May until September, October. So any of those summer events you're looking to get involved in, let me know.
I'm impressed you remember those all, Maddie. You didn't have to stop and think about it. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I have to go through the dates that they are, and in my head, I'm going through month by month. So it's just easier that way.
Perfect. Well, we're lucky enough to have a couple of our board members on as well. Mario, want to say hi? I don't know if you can. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Hi. I think I recognize everyone, and probably everyone recognizes me. I'm a board member. I've also wear many hats. I've been a caregiver, a team captain. I've done it all, and I'm here to help.
Perfect. Thank you. We've also got Sherry who's driving, so I'm not sure if Sherry wants to say hi or not, but we've got Sherry from our North Texas event and who's a board member as well. Sherry, if you want to say hi, you can just cut me off. If not, we'll keep going.
Hey y'all, it's Sherry. I am part of the North Texas event, so glad to see everybody on here. But I can't really. I'm kind of looking at y'all, but my eyes are on the road, so I'm good.
Perfect. Thank you. And then we've got Anna, actually, who is our summer intern. She's joining us as well. She participates in our North Texas event. Anna.
Hi, I interned this summer and helped with community outreach and things like that. But right now I am the team captain for Team Anna in North Texas, and I'm going on 4 years strong. So
I like this. Yes. Thank you, Anna. Then we've got Dee. Hi, Dee.
Hi, I'm Dehan, team captain of the West Enders, Cleveland, Ohio. But I am just upfront going to tell you that since I found out there's a San Francisco walk, I'm changing my allegiance to San Francisco. And we'll see what happens with my family in Cleveland if they can pick up the baton. But so we're going to, as a family, we're going to have 2 walks.
That's awesome. That's very exciting. Thank you, Dee. Thank you. We've got Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Odom, and Katrina was my nickname when I was growing up. My mom used to call me that. Anyway, I'm team captain of Brain Power. We're a small group, but we have big hearts here in Texas, and so we're anxious to find out what I'm anxious to find out what we're going to discuss this evening.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Karen. Hi, Karen. We've got Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen from North Texas, Gray Matters North Texas Brain Tumor Support Group, and I'm the president of the group. I've been the team captain since day one that Head for the Cure has had their walk, and I think we're going on year 10 this year, which will be awesome. Is that right, Courtney? Correct me if I'm wrong.
We're on year 11.
Yay! Okay,
yeah.
we got through year 10. That's right. Okay. All right, so we're on year 11, but I'm here to discuss or get some ideas for further fundraising and that kind of thing. Anxious to see if a group effort during COVID times can be had.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here, Karen, and thanks for all your support over the years. We're excited to have you. Then we got Steve. He might be snapping.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The mute button's smarter than Steve, and I'm gonna fair warning. I'll flip the video on short there for momentarily. Steve Hamilton, team captain, Hamilton's Heroes in the North Texas. Hoping to avoid the sophomore slump, as this will be the second year of team captain, and we did a pretty good job of getting a bunch of folks involved last year. I'm fearful that this year may be a little bit harder with it being virtual again, but we're going to work on getting them out there. So glad to be part of that. And like others before, just looking for ideas to help, get some more cash in the coffer, so to say, and build a team and help the Head for the Cure. So
perfect. Thank you, Steve. And it's nice to see your face.
You're too kind.
It's nice. And then last but not least, we've got Melissa, who's also driving. So Melissa, if you don't want to chime in, feel free to not.
Thank you. No, I'm good. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. My name is Melissa. I am actually the captain for Team Tanner out of Charleston. So our race is coming up super, super soon. We're actually doing ours in 2 weeks. Well, actually a week and a half, so that we can get photos and all that kind of stuff in. So exciting times around here. Everybody's really excited, and I'm just glad to be part of Head for the Cure.
Thank you, Melissa. We're excited for you all to film as well. And then Melissa and her team are going to be some of the featured runners, walkers in our Charleston. I was looking at the Charleston virtual 5K, which is exactly a month from today. So it's sneaking up on us.
Yeah, super soon.
Yeah, which is crazy. So, well, thank you everybody for introducing yourselves and again for being here. We do have as a team some things that we'd like to touch on, talking about some of our virtual events in general, that we've gone virtual pretty much through May so far, just because of the circumstances of the pandemic and the safety of our participants, but talking about how we're going to refresh from last year and how we're kind of improving on things and some new aspects that we have for our virtual events, talking about some team captain kits, our Head for the Cure office hours. And then we also wanted to touch on some new, some new resources through our program Brains for the Cure. But sometimes we get going and we get off on a subject and we don't get time at the end to answer everybody's questions. So I wanted to start off just by seeing if anybody had some questions or some topics right off the get-go that you came in on your mind and you don't want to forget. And so if you have anything right off the bat, we would love for you all and what you want to know to lead and kind of direct the conversation. So don't be shy. Yeah, Dee.
You can tell me if this is not appropriate for this discussion, but this is my 4th year coming up, and I've had the same issue every year, and that is if you're a walker, you get a discount, you get a shirt, you get a badge, I mean a medal, you get a lot of enthusiasm. If you're a donor, you get nada. Right. And my part of the Hand family contribution is pretty much all donors from all over the country, because I have a lot of friends who are retired and have disposable incomes for special things like this. And so I've encouraged them to stay with me, and they get nothing. And this year, if I do, when I do San Francisco, because that's where I live, when I do San Francisco, it's going to be 99% donors. I don't really want to ask people to walk, because why should I ask someone to pay $27 when I can get $100, $200, or $500 from a donor? So I'd like to figure out a way to make that work. So not to say, Kelsey, I'd like you to donate again this year, but you'll have to give your donation here and then sign up for the walk if you want to do the walk. And it's kind of an awkward situation all the way around. And my goal is to make the most amount of money as I can.
Right, of course, and donations, flat donations go farther, because there's no cost associated with that for the shirt, for the medal, and things like that. So donations are highly encouraged. So I don't have the right answer now. So are you suggesting that our donors, if they make a certain donation amount, they should still automatically receive that T-shirt and medal?
Well, maybe not that. But okay. Could we have that's a possibility. I'm just throwing this out to figure out a way to make this work. I think this year, a lot of my big donors, particularly the San Francisco people, will walk. So I think there should be another category, donors who walk, right, so that they can put in their $100 or $200 and they can still get everything as a walker. And so I don't have to say, well, first you have to go here and sign up to walk, and then you have to go here and donate. And who wants to do that?
Right.
Nobody.
That makes total sense. I think that's something that, a few things. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but, we do have people that donate that do not register that still come out. We have people that don't donate or register and still come out and do the walk. Sometimes they just don't get a T-shirt and a medal. They're still there just to support and to be there. But I think in your case, Dee, we could work with you and your team. And maybe it would be good to see how it would work with you and your team to maybe expand that to all of our events, but to say, okay, you have these donors who are donating this amount, but they still want to participate, but I don't want to have them cut through all this red tape of having to register and having to do this and do that. I just want to make it easy so that they just give us their donation.
Yes, exactly. Sort of I just want to take the money, but I want them to be happy. And of course, I'd like them to walk with me, Right. And if this pandemic is over by next September, I think all my friends will walk with me, but if I steer them to sign up for the walk, I don't want them to forget that they were a big donor in the past. Right. Now in Cleveland, the primary number of people that walk in Cleveland are friends of my niece and nephew. And so they're all people who do not give big donations. So that's a whole different kettle of fish. But I've always wanted to figure out a way to get my donors to be part of the big thing, get that enthusiasm. So then every year they can say, oh, I'm on this team. I don't live in Cleveland, but I'm still on the team, kind of a thing.
Right.
As opposed to every year I give $100 to this thing, It's like giving it to the Red Cross. It's a known, no face.
They don't feel this like sort of personal attachment afterwards. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody on our team, any other suggestions or answers for D? Yeah, Laura. I thought you
Hey,
might.
Kelsey.
Laura. Oh yeah, Sherry.
Kelsey, this is Sherry. I love that idea. I love that idea. One, I think our t-shirts are the best t-shirts ever.
Yeah.
So I think the more you can get out in the market, and if maybe they donate a certain amount, $100 or over, that they get a t-shirt mailed to them. I love that idea.
I agree.
So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we just have to work out something for this in-between place. And I've been talking about it, for 3 years, and I haven't talked about it in this fashion where I'm saying, please help me, let's get this done. So.
Well, good.
So
don't ask, don't get, D,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
that's what we're here for. Laura, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that two things. One, you can direct people to register, and then when they register, they can add a donation to that, so they're not having to do 2 transactions and have confusion there. But this is something that we actually have been talking about of recognizing donors. We're trying to kind of figure out that balance of there's some donors that they don't want anything in return because they want 100% to go to the research, the programs, things like that. But then there are some people that do like to have some sort of recognition. So we're trying to figure out what that balance is. Is that something where we make it an option of, you say, I'm donating $100 and yes, I want to get this bumper sticker, whatever it is, or I want to donate $100 and I want all of it to go to research. So that is something that we have been talking about, because we do, have a lot of people that are like, I don't want a shirt, I don't want to go run, but I want to donate.
Yes.
So you're on the right track, Dee. And it's definitely something that we've been thinking about and trying to figure out what is the kind of exact right way that we want to do it. So.
And I think a category that says I want to donate. I'd also like to walk. Not would you like to add more money to your thing, because that's another thing. Do I want to add more money? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not today. Maybe next week. So I want donate, and then are you going to walk or not? And if you're going to walk, would you like a t-shirt? I mean, I want that donation like I've had for 3 years past, to come in, and then everything else is gravy.
Right. That would be nice. I'm just talking out loud here, but if we had it on our system, like if you made a certain amount, donated a certain amount, we had option. Are you planning on attending the walk and participating? That way they could receive a bib if we have an in-person event. And if so, would you like a t-shirt, and just make it easy peasy, one step.
Yes.
That seems like something that we should be able to do for sure. Dee, we might just ask you a bunch of questions about it, and to see.
I'm part of the team here. I want it to work really well, and anything I can do is great. But I think it's so maybe $125, maybe $130 you have to pay to donate and walk. I don't know. I mean, to get a free shirt.
Right, exactly.
I don't know what that number is, but I think we can work on it. I think we can work.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point and a great idea. And I think it's nice to hear that from you, because we get these inclinations for what the people might want, and might make it easier, but we don't know for sure until somebody tells us. So thank you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, my whole marketing plan is segmented into different age groups, and we want to be there for each one of those age groups so that everybody wins.
Absolutely. Karen, did you have something?
Yeah, and this is kind of segues into this, but Gray Matters as a group, from many of the members through the years, I have heard them say, why do we get a medal? You know, and not to take anything away from those that like the medal, but you know, it's all about Head for the Cure, and they really don't care about a medal. And you know, I know there's costs and shipping and everything with the medal, and I've heard, you know, just that as a suggestion that I needed to bring up to you guys, that, you know, maybe make it an option. If you don't want a medal, don't take one. Or I don't know how to make it equitable, because I know there's some people that are the true runners that you know, collect those, and I get it, but again, for our survivors especially, they could care less. They just want to walk, you know.
Do you think so? For our in-person events, opting out of a medal is easy, just not taking one, you know, for sure. But for our virtual last year, and I can't remember, Karen, for sure if we did this for North Texas as an option, because we did it kind of later in the year, where when you registered, we had a question that said, would you like to like forego your shirt and medal to donate that like back to Head for the Cure? But we bundled it where it was shirt and medal. Do you think it would be helpful to have those be separate options? Because some people want the shirt, but they don't want the medal. And some people don't want both.
Well, you know, it's funny. Our guys, I don't know why, they love the shirts. They collect, well, you know
why? Because they're soft and they're wonderful.
Exactly. You know, they make t-shirt quilts out of the shirts. They love the shirts. Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to make things difficult for you guys, but you know, just think about it. You know, for sure. Making that as an option, because if we can donate the cost of the medal back to Head for the Cure, oh, so be it. I know so many people would do that.
Right. I think it doesn't hurt to see what we could do logistically with that. And I feel like personally for the there's a bigger benefit for the shirt than the medal, because when you wear a shirt, you're just free advertising for the cause. You know, it's not like people are wearing their medals around all the time to advertise that they're wearing that shirt. So yeah, great point. Absolutely.
Thanks.
So it sounds like the whole website's going to have to be changed.
You know, and Brian, who does a lot of these internal changes for us on the website, is not on. So this is the perfect time for us to like get big ideas and say, Brian,
you'll be really surprised tomorrow morning.
Right. Here's what we've got for you. Well, perfect. Well, are there any other questions right off the bat? Anything? I know we've got some, you know, the North Texas event coming up, Charleston, Orlando, Kathy with Midland. Any questions that are just lighting a fire for you? Perfect. Well, I'll talk just a little bit about our virtual events. And, you know, last year, unfortunately, 26 out of our 28 5Ks went virtual. We're all now Zoom pros, I feel like, and, you know, getting great at social media and watching virtual events. I've watched random virtual events that I never thought I would watch just because I didn't have anything else to do. So I'm just going to do this. And I think a lot of other people experience that. Not with ours. I watch ours because I want to, but other random like script reads, anything. But so what we try to do is take our in-person events and just put them up on the screen. And so that was our goal, was to still have that feeling of community, still be able to hear from, you know, people and survivors and supporters in those communities, also our local beneficiaries, and hear from our hospital partners, and just really sort of celebrate our community, because that's what it feels like at our 5Ks. People talk about our 5Ks and kind of how they feel and what the event is like. And I compare it to a family reunion. It's, you know, the people you see once a year and you get so excited and you know, are all together and sharing stories and different things. So we tried to put that feeling onto the screen. This year we're doing the same thing. We want to hear from more participants. We want more of those picture-in-picture videos of people sharing their story or talking about why they support the cause, or anything they want others in the brain tumor community to know. We really just want it to be all about the community, and showing everybody that even though things seem overall pretty hard these days, that we're all here together and still supporting each other. So that's our goal. And so all of the events, yes, through May are virtual as of now, just for with the pandemic and safety reasons. But are there any, do you all have any feedback or suggestions on how we could improve upon last year's virtual event, or ideas that you have on how we could better represent the community or hear from communities in our virtual events?
Well, I don't think I've talked to you since the Cleveland event. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I'm pretty sure I never told you how fabulous I thought it was.
Oh, Dee, you're making us blush.
Oh, no, I thought it was fantastic. And I never watched, I think I watched one or two beforehand because to figure out what it was all about and how it was going to work. But what you guys did for the Cleveland event, I thought was just spectacular. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch it live.
Oh,
but I was really glad I did. I thought you did a wonderful job.
Well, thank you, Dee. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And all your help with it. You know, it's it
Yeah.
doesn't happen without all you guys. So
Yeah, no, it was very well put together. It flowed really nice. Of course, oh my gosh, Mitch did a spectacular job. One of our family friends did the run in Cleveland, and his brother was a baseball player. He went to Baldwin Wallace College on a baseball scholarship, and so he went to all the baseball places that his brother had played baseball, and also to the Indian Stadium, and that's how he did the run. So it was really nicely done. Really nicely done. But all the little things that you interjected were so beautiful, and I was just blown away by the whole thing. I thought you did a spectacular job, considering what the situation we were all in. You know,
Right.
I never imagined it would be that good.
Well, thank you, Dee. You're too generous, too gracious. Melissa, did you raise your hand?
I did. Just as far as the community part that you were just speaking of, of course, a bit of that is taken away with it being virtual. I don't know. I can speak to Charleston, not really for any of the other ones, but I would actually encourage, if possible, if people would update their team pages to why they run, instead of it just being the default information. I type everything. I do everything. So like, to me, it's important when I'm putting that information out, asking for donations or what have you, that people know why we're doing it, that we're doing it in honor and memory of my dad. But that whole community piece, I've like gone to the other to the other teams for Charleston just to read their about you information. And it's almost all just the default info. Like, since we're not all together, I think maybe that would even be a good thing to try to, I mean, if it's possible, just to encourage them to put their own stuff out there. So we're all running for the same cause, but I don't really know anything else about the other people who are doing the race.
That's a great point, Melissa. I think that is definitely something we can easily encourage through our team captain communication and our emails. And I think it would be fun. And then, because we do team spotlights, as we lead up to the event, it would be easy for us to say, if we see that they've personalized their team page, to say, are you okay with us sharing this with everybody, to put it out there on why you all support. And then for the virtual event for Charleston, for example, once if you're reading through all these other people, when you see their video in the event, you'll be like, oh, that's so-and-so. Like, you'll be able to connect the two. And that would definitely be really cool to kind of build the community that way and get to know more about each other. Since we're not able to kind of chit chat and connect in person. So absolutely. Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. One thing that we're trying to do, we've had some feedback on we encourage everyone to watch at the same time on Facebook when the video premieres, so that you can kind of comment along and you can say, oh, I see so-and-so's online and commenting and different things. And it's really nice to have that community at that time. But people, of course, want more. We want to be able to see each other more, to supplement from not being able to see in person. So something we're trying out is our post-event like Zoom parties. So a few days after the virtual event premieres, if the North Texas event is on Sunday, May 1st, is that a Sunday, Courtney? It's a Sunday, right? Or is it a Saturday? I can't remember. It's May 1st.
Saturday.
Saturday. But a few days, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, evening, something like that. Just inviting everybody from the community, the participants, team captains, survivors, to jump on a call like this and say hi, and get to kind of debrief and talk about what our favorite parts of the event were, give a shout out to our runners that were featured and things like that. But just an opportunity to see each other's faces other than just in a video, which would be really nice, and including our beneficiaries on that as well, because these little meetings, they go a long way. They fill up your cup. So we were excited to see how those roll out. Is that something that you all would be interested in, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that we would. I've had a huge increase of interest this year because we're local. We're doing it local, whereas we live 3 hours away from Charleston. So we had a small team last year. It's grown this year, and everybody's super excited about it. So yeah, I think my team would definitely be interested in doing that.
Awesome. Something else that we thought, it's hard, but maybe we've had generous partners in the past with, local restaurants doing give backs and things like that. And we know that a lot of restaurants are struggling. A lot of people are struggling, but maybe an opportunity to bring them some business was maybe doing like a small give back and partnering with a restaurant for to-go orders on that same night. So we could say, okay, before you join us on your Zoom, post-event party, after party, pick up dinner at such and such, and like 10% will come back to the race and support us. So still being able to support a local restaurant and also have a kickback to Head for the Cure and the fundraising. So we're trying all sorts of ideas just to see what sticks and see what we can do to keep things fresh. So yeah, Dee.
On that subject, maybe we could formalize something. It was kind of rocky in Cleveland because the West End Bar is somewhat what we're named after, and we wanted them to do something, and every year they did something totally different. It was kind of like off the top of their head, and I would suggest things, but maybe we could have something more formal put together for a restaurant that says, we're going to bring our team to your restaurant after the run, and would you be interested in doing it this, or this, and give them some firm choices. And we never had any money. Well, we did have money come back. They gave we gave out tickets for a free drink. Your first drink was free. But then they presented us at the end of the time with a check. So we did make some money, but not like from people buying, if you buy this, you get that, kind of a thing. So if there's any good ideas that people have had with restaurants, maybe we could formalize that so that the team captain could walk in someplace and say, this is something that's been used in other places. Would you be interested in doing it?
Right. Do you think it would be helpful if we just had like a one pager sort of, pre-scripted, sort of what we could do possibly with a partnership like that we could just email you and you could print out and take in and pass on? Yeah, that would be great.
I think that's a great idea because, not everybody is a marketing person that can go in and do things. And even I couldn't get the guy to agree to anything. At the last minute, he would agree to something. I mean, he would make up something himself. But I think if you have three choices, these things would help our team and Head for the Cure would you be willing to do, and then just check off and then do that. And then
Right.
the money goes directly to Head for the Cure.
And in return, we're bringing you more business. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you guys write all the good stuff, so you could do that.
Well, we could work on that. We could
Yeah.
definitely work on that.
Yeah, I think having a kit for the team captains, I think is a pretty good idea.
Oh, well, Dee, you took me to my next talking point because maybe that's something we can include. So new this year, we're introducing team captain kits, and it's mostly directed right now towards our virtual events, but we're going to find a way once we are doing, in person or hybrid in person and virtual, to have them be useful there as well. But I'm going to let Allie talk a little bit about our team captain kits and what they include. It's just something new this year, new and fresh.
Yes, so we are kind of how we've been doing it so far with Orlando and Charleston is for those team captains that have registered, we will be sending team captain kits. So once you register, we have obviously your information to ship it, and then we're kind of doing it in batches just for ease, especially right now with us not working in the office. So I'll go in and just do a big batch of them and send it out to people that have registered. So that's just for team captains, and it gets sent to them. And in those, we have a team captain shirt. So for the team captain, they have a shirt, and it's one of our really soft shirts, and it says team captain on the back, which is really cool. And it has this year's design on it. So that's kind of a fun special item that's in it. We also have some really cool selfie boards. So it's kind of like a frame with Head for the Cure designs all over it, and you can take a picture with it, share it on social media. That's a great way to also, raise awareness for your team, is even passing it along, to different team members so they can take their picture with it. It's a little small to take two, but you could probably fit 2 people in there. As well, we also have some information on just different, we have Wall of Hope cards. So those are those cards that you fill out the day of in a normal race that say I run or walk for, and then you can fill in the blank. And we have some cards of how to fill those out, ways that you can share that by either emailing it to us or sharing it on social media and tagging us. Another just kind of great way to.
Thanks for the modeling, Melissa.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
Yes, Melissa.
Melissa has hers. Yes, she got hers a couple weeks ago, probably. So yes, that is what it looks like. So we also have a couple other items in there of just kind of how to, some different informational pieces, how to share your testimonial, just some hopefully helpful hints of things that you can do for the virtual event. It's kind of geared toward work virtual right now because that's what we're doing in Charleston and Orlando and some of our other events as well. But beyond that, then we just have like a card so you can contact your regional relationship coordinator, stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're at right now with the team captain kits. Kelsey, am I missing anything?
Holly, you mentioned the neighborhood walk bit, correct?
Oh, I did not.
Information about that. Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
A sheet about how to do your own neighborhood walk. So it kind of gives some helpful hints, some instructions on how you can do your own neighborhood walk within your community, which is kind of a great way to also raise funds, build awareness. Kind of like Melissa said, she's not close necessarily to the actual event, but can do it within her own community. So I know they're doing it here coming up. So that's also a helpful hint and way that you can get involved, and that way team captains have those informations on hand physically.
Even though it's not necessarily ideal or safe for us to have our North Texas event where we have 1,000 people gathered, it might be safe and a safe way to do it where you just have your team get together. You guys pick whether it's race day after you watch the virtual event or whether you want to be a part, like filmed and have your bit included in the virtual event video so you can do it ahead of time. Just picking a day where you all meet up safely, maybe mask if you need to, and showing that, but still showing your support and walking through a neighborhood. Just something as simple as that helps build awareness. You might get neighbors who want to support and participate. You might post on your next door app that you're doing doing it and might get some people that you never thought would want to participate, or, it's unfortunate, but you meet so many people that also have a connection to brain tumors and brain cancer, more than you want to meet. And so doing things like that in a smaller capacity is totally capable, and you're able to then see your teammates and stuff like that, and we can share the photos. And for some of our larger events like North Texas, just because of our vendor is able to do it with our larger events and larger order quantities, they're able to get your event shirts ahead of time if you register by a certain date. So if you encourage your team members to register by that certain date, they could have their shirt in hand before the actual virtual event day, and you can all do your neighborhood walk in your event t-shirts. So just some cool ideas for ways to still connect, still build awareness, just not on such a big scale like 1,000-person 5K. But
We
thank
got
you.
our shirts. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you done, Kelsey?
Oh no, go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. Thank you. No, we got our shirts after our virtual walk last week, and I understand here in Midland we're going to be getting them also after the event.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a big deal because we can wear last year's shirts or 2 years ago or whatever. But I was just really curious as to why we didn't get them before the event here in Midland.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question, because normally we're able to, for in-person races, we're able to give them to you the day before at packet pickup. This past year, just to help us cut down on costs, because we typically order a handful, a number larger than what we actually have registered for in-person events, for walk-ups and things like that. To cut down on costs, we order the exact amount of the people who register. So we don't have any excess or anything, which really helped us through our 26 events for the most part in 2020. Our cost of goods was much significantly lower, and we had no leftover shirts, which is what we were hoping for. So for our larger events, I think they have us order like 400 shirts at a time or something, our vendors do. So for North Texas, having 1,000 people, we'll have 400 people registered about a month ahead of time. So we can place that order with them, get them in, and then everybody who registers after that date will get their shirts after the event. So we're still only ordering the exact amount of shirts we need. We still won't have any excess. It just gets kind of tricky. Our vendors are very gracious, but they are also they also have limitations on how much they'll let us get away with. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Perfect. Allie, thanks for sharing all the team captain information. And Melissa, yeah, that shirt looks good, and your hairdo. That also looks great.
Thank you for modeling.
We're just excited. It's fun to get something in people's hands, especially events that were unfortunately virtual last year and are virtual again this year. Maybe just to remind them, that there is something to get excited about, and there are reasons for us to stay in this fight and come together. So just kind of a little reminder and fun things that they can pass around to their team members. And if you need more materials, like if you need more Wall of Hope cards, or if you want another selfie square because you've got somebody that wants to use it with their family or something, just let us know. We're happy to mail you some more items. So for sure. Something else that's new this year, we had some feedback about how, when we say we want people to share their story for the virtual event, which means, we want you to film yourself talking about your connection or why you support the cause. It's sometimes easier said than done because not everybody is comfortable filming. Not everybody knows exactly the technology with how to do that. Let alone trying to figure out how to get it to us sometimes can be challenging if it should be via email or a text. Yeah, it's just a lot of complicated issues. And so something that we've come up with, which I'm really excited for Courtney to talk about, are our Head for the Cure office hours to try to help and alleviate any issues with filming your story or any hesitations that people might have. So Courtney, I'll let you talk about our office hours.
Yeah, so I think it was Karen. She brought it up in one of our last meetings or in our North Texas meeting about, I don't know how to film, especially for our survivors out there. It may not be easy. And I understand that technology is not a friend of ours sometimes, as I had to hop off earlier because my internet was bad. But it really sparked an idea. It's like, why not for us to have different sessions, maybe once or twice a month leading up to the event, where we're the ones that are doing the recording for you guys. So that's initially what our Head for the Cure office hours is. I just had a couple last week with some of my participants in Austin, and it went super easy. I messaged everyone else afterwards. I was like, this was so easy. Why didn't we do this? There we go. Sorry, I cut out. It's something that it was just that light bulb moment. So thank you, Karen. So all we do is we have a little poll on our event website. So if you go to for example, for North Texas or Midland or our Central Texas event, there's a little button that says record your testimonial, and you can click on that and schedule a time. I do about 15-minute sessions. It doesn't take too long to Zoom with me, and then I'm the one recording. So just like we're recording this initial call for later on down the road, we'll be able to use that for the event, and as well as like social media and things like that beforehand. So all you have to do is show up. If you want to wear a hat, go for it. If you want to, wear your hair down, do all your makeup because we don't ever leave the house anymore, go for it.
If you want to wear your fancy team captain t-shirt, or
Yes.
a shirt from the 2015 North Texas race, Karen, you can do those things.
Exactly. And then I will be the one asking questions. If there's something specific that you definitely want to share, that's perfectly fine. With mine last week that I did, I asked some follow-up questions about some of their answers that they had, but other than that, it was about 5 to 6 questions. It took 15 minutes, and it was super easy. I was talking with Emily, she's a survivor, and she's like, I really appreciate you guys doing this, just because I can do this and I can get up and go. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to figure out how to upload it to an email or send it through a text or all of that. So it's super easy. And then once you get to that poll on our website, just schedule a time that works for you. I'm doing them for my markets just because I have more events coming up right now, about once to twice a month. February I have a couple in the afternoon and evenings and things like that. So just make sure you check out your guys's event homepage, and go ahead and click that button to schedule yours.
Right. And if for some reason some of those times don't work, you can always reach out. Courtney and Allie and Maddie are super flexible, and if there's a time, they'll make it work. So it's great. And it's not just for team captains or survivors, it's anybody. It's caregivers, it's friends of friends. I've have friends of my family who would love to share their story, and their only connection is being my friend, and supporting a cause that's important to me. And so it can literally be anybody who is willing to share and help us build awareness, because it's so nice the more we share, it helps. It just makes a difference. So
yeah. And for Anna, for example, if you want to do it and your mom wants to do it and your dad wants to do it, I can schedule that separate time for you guys to all do that at once. So if you guys are a group, just at home wanting to do it, that's great. So we're flexible. It's not that hard for us, so don't worry about it. Don't get stressed out.
And it's nice that all of us, but especially Laura as well, if you flub and you misspeak or you mess up, we just edit that out and it's easy peasy. So exactly. It's nice.
Well, I wish I had a recording of myself doing my video last year. Just for comic relief, you guys would be on the floor. And I went down to the beach with the Golden Gate Bridge behind me because my brother used to run down there. And it was really so atmospheric. It was the most beautiful day, sunshine, the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. I didn't flub my lines at all. I went through my whole thing like that. I went back to the car. I was so excited, and I turned it on. All you could hear was it was so windy at the beach. You couldn't hear one word. All you could hear was wind. So I had to go to 3 different places to avoid the wind. I found out I wound up on a staircase, kind of in a little cove. But it was absolutely hilarious. And I was by myself. So I was just laughing by myself wherever I went. I was laughing. People probably thought. giving a speech and then I laugh.
Well, you were dedicated and we appreciate it. And I know I can picture your video and the view was great.
The view was great in the end, yeah. But it took it forever. A lot of wishing.
Well, perfect. Well, one of the last little bit of things that we wanted to talk about were some of our new resources through our program Brains for the Cure. So I'm sure you've all seen, we email you every once in a while about new things going on. Steve, I saw that. Yeah. And so I'll let Laura talk a little bit about our patient perspectives and our caregiver conversations that are going on.
Thanks, Kelsey. So hopefully, yes, you've seen our many emails, our many social posts. We really try not to bug you guys too often. We just have a lot of really good information to share with everyone. But so last year, we kind of revamped Brains for the Cure, which is our online navigator, primarily for patients and caregivers. But really anyone that knows anyone that's been diagnosed with a brain tumor is, welcome to look at it. It's a great resource if you're just trying to understand what exactly is going on. And so, as Kelsey mentioned, two of the newest things that we have are our caregiver conversations, which we've been doing those since our first one was in September. I have to remember my months are all off. 2020 is just a complete blur of what happened then. But so we started those and have had great turnout. It's an online meeting very similar to this where we meet on Zoom, but it's all caregivers all across the country, all different kinds of caregivers. We have several that are actively caring for someone that is currently in treatment. We have caregivers that have a loved one that's on watch and wait, or they're considering themselves a survivor. And we also have caregivers that have lost their loved one and are kind of looking for guidance on how to go on after that. Several people on this call have been a part of those, so thanks to those that have been on there. But we have our next one is actually tomorrow night. They are every single month, and they're always the last Thursday of the month. We do it just occasionally when holidays happen, such as Christmas and Thanksgiving. We figure you probably don't want to talk with us on those days, and so we adjust for that. But they start at 6 p.m. Central. And if you go to brainsforthecure.org and go to our caregiver section, that is where you will find a link to sign up. You do have to sign up for these meetings, different from these where you can just join. That's because we don't publicize the Zoom link because these meetings do have a little bit more sensitive topics that we're talking about. We don't want to publicize the link quite as wide to the internet. So you do have to sign up for those, and then we'll send you the Zoom information. But yeah, they've gone really well, and I think that they've been a big help to the caregivers who are able to join. We encourage everyone to be as active or not as active as they'd like. Some people have really great conversations, ask lots of questions, give lots of advice, and others are just there to listen, and both of those are great. We want you to participate with whatever you're comfortable with. And then we also have new this year is patient perspectives. And so that is going to be, again, every single month, similar format of being on Zoom. It'll be the first Thursday of every month. We like to do Brains for the Cure related things on Thursdays, apparently. We thought we'd just stay consistent with that. But again, similar, there'll be 6 p.m. Central. Again, have to sign up with a link. So brainsforthecure.org and go to our patient section. You can find that sign up information. And we're really excited for those to kind of hear from our patients and survivors. We started out with caregivers because that's something that we didn't have. We didn't really have a lot of support for caregivers at Head for the Cure, and we knew that that's something we needed to add. And so we wanted to start out with them. But the patient perspectives are for patients, survivors. Caregivers are welcome to join those calls. We know that some patients would prefer to have their caregiver with them on those calls if they need help with, peering, navigating Zoom. We all need help navigating Zoom sometimes. So they are welcome to join on that as well. And typically we'll have another survivor or a nurse navigator or social worker or someone that's invited to the call to kind of lead the conversation. And so for this first one on February 4th, Molly Marco, she is one of our ambassadors for Head for the Cure. She's a survivor from Detroit. She's really awesome, really funny. If you enjoy Twitter, we were talking about her Twitter earlier today. She likes to tweet some funny things, and she's very honest about, you know, what all that she has been through as a patient and as a survivor. And so I'm excited for people to be able to kind of hear what she has to say about her own story and be able to kind of give advice to others. So right now we're doing both of those once a month. We are eventually looking at adding more times if we think that's needed, potentially kind of splitting up groups into more specific categories or something like that. But everyone is welcome to join. We definitely encourage you to share with anyone you'd like to share. I know Sherry and Karen have gotten, it's almost like a North Texas group sometimes of all the North Texas Gray Matters people that we have joining, but everyone is welcome to join. And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me and I'm happy to tell you more about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura. Well, we just hit our hour mark, and I don't want to keep people, but I want to give everybody an opportunity. If you have any questions, any suggested topics that you'd like to cover in the future, any feedback, it doesn't have to be even anything that we talked about today, but if you have any just general questions or suggestions on how we can, you know, best show our support right now.
Just a quick question. When will this video be available to watch?
I'll post it on YouTube probably either first thing when we're done, once it downloads, or first thing in the morning. And so I'll send out a recap email, Kathy, that has the link to it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else? Great. Well, so we have these monthly. So our next meeting is Wednesday, February 17th. And we plan on diving into our topic of third-party events, you know, and kind of encouraging participants and supporters to host their own fundraisers, which can be challenging in itself normally, let alone trying to do a fundraiser during a pandemic. But we have some potential panel guests that are going to join us and talk about how they were able to successfully host some fundraisers last year despite COVID and all the situations. So safe ways that can happen and still raise a lot of money for research and programs. So that's our topic for the 17th, which we're excited for. Dee, I know you're going to have some input and you're going to join us, right?
I hope so. I was just thinking it would be a good thing for my niece and nephew to join so that they could get some ideas.
Perfect.
They have a big job in Cleveland this year.
Perfect. The more the merrier. Absolutely. Well, that's our plan. And I mean, that's it for this evening, but we appreciate you all taking the time to meet with us, just to listen, to share ideas, suggestions. We'll definitely take things from this meeting and present them to our bosses. And I know, you know, Sherry's already voiced, you know, that she likes some of them, so it'll be easier to present some of those. But I think that's it. So it was so nice to see everyone. And then in the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We know, Melissa, you've got Charleston coming up, so feel free to bug Allie and me as much as you need to.
Thank you.
Of course. And anything that we can do to help, or if you have an idea and just want to toss it around and get some feedback, please don't hesitate to reach out. So. Well, perfect. Well, thanks, everybody. It was so nice to see you, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great night.